Welcome to American and Whiskey. As always, I'm your favorite host in the whole entire world. I'm probably not, but I do love to say that. Big Sturg right here. I'm right here. Over on the other side of the studio, we've got Justice League.
And I'm right here.
And I know it's hard to believe because Carl's a big dude just like me, but he is right there. He is. Carl is there. Say something. Say hi, Carl.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
There he is. So sit back, relax, guys. We got a great show ahead of us here. We've got Rich Regal coming up first. We've got, I think, THC's third, and then we've got 7 Stones. So sit back, relax. We're going to have a good evening here. We're going to drink a little bit of liquor and beer. Sit back, relax with a bunch of cool bands, and share just some really awesome stuff today. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. You know what I'm saying? Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I will say, Josh, we haven't had Rigsby time in a long time. In a long time, we've been doing good. So welcome back to American Whiskey. To anyone that's new to the show, I'm Big Sturg. This is Justice League. We're glad you guys are joining us for it seems to be going to be a good night. It's going to be a great night.
It really does. It seems like Carl here's put together a good lineup of interviews here. Yeah. And I know that's your forte's music and interviews.
Yeah. You know, that's what I love the most. And that's what, when I created this, podcast, that's originally, is what it was all for. And, with us tonight, like I said, we've got Carl here with integrated music solutions. He's promotions, he's bookings, he's all of those things that you want. And he's very, easy to get a hold of, 937-846-6696. And you can go to integratedmusicsolutions@gmail.com. He's there. He's been great to work with. I mean, great, easy to work with. Once Jason told us about this, and I know you guys have been in contact over the last year or so here and there. But we're excited to do this. And Carl, thank you so much for thinking about us and making us, part of this, dream that you created with all this music stuff.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be on here.
So we always do something. And Carl, you got to do it with us, man. We're going to go around the horn and talk about what we're sipping on. You guys already know what this guy's sipping on. Doug, get in the backstage.
I added him so he can say what he's drinking.
Oh, that's true. So I'm sipping on, like always, Quality House. Okay. And I put a little bit of Diet Sprite in there. Just sweeten it up, make it go down a little easier.
I am drinking on Four Roses Small Batch Select.
That don't need Sprite. And he's got a Wada. And then, Doug, what are you sipping on?
Got me a tall natty daddy.
You should be ashamed.
Some Tennessee homemade wine, strawberry.
How do you drink natty daddies?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's funny. I chugged one of those one time in the Speedway parking lot, and it was ice cold. And I was like, this is actually not that bad ice cold. Then I tried another one. I let sit for a minute, and then I tried to drink it, and I was like, I'd rather have a Four Loko.
Did your sleeves pop off your shirt too while you're at it?
What?
Did your sleeves pop off your shirt?
Why?
Turn into a hillbilly?
Oh, yeah. I'm an idiot. You guys know this. No,
right over his head.
It did. It doesn't take much. So, but yeah, so we're excited about tonight, guys. Here in about 5 minutes, we're going to have our first guy on here. And a lot of you may be familiar with him because he's been on here with Big Sturg before. And, it was a good time with Rich. It's Rich Regal. For many of you people, he puts on a show.
And I was about to bring that up. One of my favorite parts about Farm to Bottle last year was your kids up there jamming.
Oh, dude.
To Rich.
And my favorite part was my boy, last year he was 7 years old, I think, at that time. And Rich and his, oh my gosh,
his drummer.
Boogie. I think it's Boogie. Is it Boogie? Boog. Oh, yeah. So they took time out of their night there at the end,
yeah.
Signed drumsticks and gave it to my son and took pictures with my daughter. And, it was just, it was awesome, man.
It definitely made their day.
So that was a good time. You even enjoyed it. And you're not, I wouldn't say you're a huge, country rap guy, but right. He put on a show, man.
It was a fun time.
So, but yeah, guys. So then we're going to have seven Stones next after Rich, right? And and then I think we're having Rich on from THC. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
DJ Moneyface Bougie, right? Boogie. Sorry. I'm an idiot, so it doesn't take much to confuse me.
Not bougie, Boogie.
It was a joke. I thought it was funny. I'm a funny guy, Carl. Okay, don't act like I'm not. I'm karate chop. I don't care if you can. You can't stand up in my basement or not.
Look, even in backstage, Rich is laughing at you.
Whatever. Listen, Rich and I. Listen, we had a dog shit moment on the interview I did with him. I don't even think anybody could hear me. They could just hear him, which honestly, that's all anybody tuned in for, anyways. But the whole time, I was so pissed off.
That was when your board was going through that weird malfunction.
It was on his period or something. Like, it was just a terrible moment. But Rich's like, "Oh, it was awesome," and I'm like, "Thanks, Rich. I know, But too bad, Boogie's not going to be on with Rich or Boogie. I'm gonna mess with him at the show. Hey, it's DJ Moneyface. He'll be there, right?
Yeah,
he'll be with Rich.
Yep.
Cool. So you know what? Just pop Rich in here. Let's do this. He's backstage. Let's do it. All right. Rich, what's up, dude?
What's up, brother?
Hey, man.
I just hit Boog up and was like, "Hey, you want to go live with us?" I don't know what he's doing.
I hope he does. And here's the best thing about this whole situation. You can hear me and I can hear you, and it's all working just amazing tonight. So I'll smoke to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I knew it. Now here's a question for what you're doing here. Are you using your own personal brand wrap?
Actually, right now I'm using Alien wraps.
Okay, all right.
They're all black papers.
That's badass.
They're all black, and then I got the all black crutches.
Aren't you bougie? You just bougie, boy.
I seen the blacks, and I was like, bruh.
Does it look like? Do you remember those clothes? Do you remember the cloves cigarettes?
Yeah,
they kind of look like that.
Yeah, like they had some called Death too. There was a clove cigarette called Death that was.
Oh, really? Yeah. So, hey, man, I know we don't have I know you busy, man. We got THC coming on in a bit, and you're welcome to stay. You're welcome to stay for all of it, brother, because you're my dude. So, but I'm gonna jump straight into it, man. While you're rolling that up, the first question I got for you, man. I've got this sitting in studio here. I got to talk about it for just a second, man. How is that going, and how's it doing on the shelves?
Oh man, it really blew us away at the beginning because we had the agave, obviously.
Right.
We started with that. But he already had a bailment on this recipe.
Mm-hmm.
And it just wasn't, there wasn't a way to market it yet. And I was like, and I had went to him and I was like, "Hey, I need something a little bit less octane and something sweet."
Yeah.
I like a sweet drink. So he came back and he was like, "Try this. I got an idea." I loved it.
Oh, dude,
as far as the stores, the liquor establishments that we do have it in, it's doing amazing. The bars like Hunter Street Saloon, Mikey's Sports Bar, and Chillicothe.
Oh,
these
nice.
bars really, really support the brand.
Yeah, of course.
And both of them carry both because the bars can carry the agave. We just can't sell that in the.
Well, and I think it's cool Chillicothe's showing up because they're not far from Lancaster. That's a little hometown place, and I know which bar you're talking about. I have family over there, and that's awesome that you're getting the bars, putting it on their shelves, giving that an opportunity to get out there into to the consumers. Because, dude, I'm not a strawberry fan. I'm just not. And you say it's sweet, but it's also not too sweet. And I really enjoy it. And I'm not a strawberry man. So I'm super glad to hear it's doing well on the shelves.
Well, and the really cool thing is it's sweet enough, like you said, sweet enough to where it gives you a good. It's easy to go down, but at the same time, it's still got that little bit of burn.
Exactly.
But the mixture is so great because we can use it for so many things. Like now we're presenting down at the Farm to Bottle Festival. We're going to be releasing through Sweet Tooth. I don't know the exact. I don't have it in front of me, but Sweet Tooth. It's a woman out of.
She's one of our good friends, man. She's a every week listener. She's amazing.
I figured you knew who I was talking about.
Well, and damn you, because guess what? That was my next question, man. You've got you've got wraps, you've got coffee, which I still need to come get a bag of that coffee. You've got, now you're releasing candy. I believe you're right there, the white trash mofo wraps right there, which you can get at your tattoo place, right?
Modified Studio, 737 North Columbus Street, Lancaster, Ohio.
Which I'm going to be pulling up there, getting another tattoo. Plus, I need to get another one fixed. But I'm telling you, this man right here that you're looking at is an entrepreneur. He's chasing, and he's winning. If you've listened to his music, you know what I'm talking about. If you've been to one of his shows, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So what I love about you the most, man, you don't just focus on one thing. You're out there focusing on many different things, different avenues. And a lot of times people are scared to do that, but you're not. So what have you done to be able to do so many different things, wear so many different hats, and be successful at all of them?
Well, I'm not successful at everything that I do. Trust me.
I beg to differ. You're putting a smile on your face on everything that you're doing. Your fans are loyal to you. You're growing your fan base every day. So I would say, you know, on the outside looking in for a guy like myself, dude, you're an influence to me every time I look at one of your quick shorts on Facebook, dude. You no matter how much hate you get, no matter how much love you get, you're still got that same smile, bro. So my question is, how are you able to still wear all these different hats and do what you're doing, man? And because for me, it really is spectacular to see it.
I don't know. I just kind of do
Because you're
it.
fucking Rich Regal, that's why.
Don't ask me how I did it. I just did it. It was hard.
But it takes you have to be willing to succeed and fail, right?
Absolutely. And
So
that's what I was going to say. If say it takes 50 wins to be successful at something, there's going to be 30 big losses to get to that 50 wins.
And a lot of people, Rich, aren't built to be able to. A lot of people just want to win. A lot of people aren't willing to take the loss every once in a while. And that's what I was getting at, man. I think the way that you have put yourself together, you've branded yourself, you've become something that somebody wants to look up to. And, you know, when I first seen you at that show at Farm to Bottle last year, you know, you remember my kids coming up to you and loving on you and you loving on them back, bro. Like that was an honor for me. So that's the things that I'm talking about. You know, he took time out of his night while he's trying to break down a stage. You, Moneyface, you both took time to love on my kids, sign some stuff, you know, take some pictures, and then you're back at something different the very next day. And man, it's been a really, really big joy for me the last year, connecting with you and watching you be who you are, man, because it's its own thing. It's amazing.
Well, I mean, it's likewise. I don't get to see as much as I would like to see, but I've watched you guys grow.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Like you guys are staying. Here's the big thing, the big C word: consistent.
Yeah,
that is key word. That is the word of the year: consistency.
No, sure.
Stay consistent. I tell people all the time. I've watched tattoo artists start up a tattoo studio, and they consistently suck.
Yeah.
But they have a consistent business that understands that, hey, they may suck, but they're cheaper than the other guy.
Yeah.
So no matter what, as long as you have consistency, you're going to prevail.
Yeah, and you get better. The more you do it, let's talk about a crappy tattoo guy, but if he's consistent, what happens with consistency? You grow and you get better.
You will get better. That's the one thing for sure. The more you do something, the more you're going to get better. You won't get worse.
That's right. Unless you...
And eventually you'll master that. Yeah,
but unless you just suck and then you just don't learn from your mistakes. You know what I mean? But either way.
Yeah, I know a bunch of people.
So, bro, I got... same. I don't know. What are you trying to say? I'm just kidding. So, my third question here, and this is the biggest one, and I was really excited to talk about this because, you know, I write music too, and I love your tunes, bro. I've shared lyrics with you, and you know, we've enjoyed that part of life, being able to share as artists. And man, I have to ask this, dude. You're putting out singles left and right, and and they're good. Like a lot of artists put out a lot of singles because they're just, you know, maybe they're trying to catch that song. But every single you're putting out right now, I'm putting it in my library as a repeat on my way to work. And so I want to talk to you about, your next album. And kind of, are you going to continue this dropping these singles, man?
Yeah, the plan was to drop more singles than I'm dropping right now. But there's many factors that go, as we all know, that go into a lot of things. Plus, I am juggling a lot of stuff, a lot. But I plan to try to drop something every month. The album will be here by the end of the year. I haven't set a date. By the end of this year, the album will be here. It's called Scar Tissue. Caesar Beavers did the album, and I want to give a little backstory on that because this is a big deal to me. Anybody that knows me knows I went through my surgeries, whatnot. The album cover is literally my belly, my tattoos up close with the staples that were in my belly.
Wow.
And one side is all camo and one side is all black leather.
Oh, man.
And it's embossed. And the reason being is because originally this album was going to be called Shitbag.
Yeah.
Because I wrote most of this during that time. And just it goes along with the POS and all that.
Yeah.
Because that's what I've always been told. That's all I'm going to be, so cool. I ran with it. But so it was going to be Shitbag. I prolonged the album. I haven't dropped an album in 2 years. And, I was like, this is it. I want to do it by the end of the year. It has to be Scar Tissue because when you listen to these particular songs, and a lot of them are a lot of the singles that I've dropped, collectively put on one project, when you listen to it, I want it to be chronological to where you have to you have to watch or listen to the whole album all the way through to get the whole story of that 2 year period where I was at.
And I love the fact that, you said, you were going through that tough time and you had that surgery, you were trying to heal up, but you said you said what I love to hear, man. You were writing during that time. A lot of your music came from that time. And sometimes when we go through struggles, that's when your best music comes alive, baby. Like, because your heart and your mind are one at that point. You're trying to figure out how to get out of a rut. You're trying to figure out how to get better, and you just can't help but make great music out of that.
Well, and I mean, after full heal, a year of being healed, that's what created Looking for Love.
Yeah, I was just heavy, Rich.
And it's like
interview asking what I was going to ask next. This is my favorite song that you have ever dropped, dude. You played it at Farm to Bottle last year, and you were like, "It's the first time I'm playing it. It's gonna suck." And it played. My wife and I. My wife looked at me and she's like, "You like this, don't you?" I was like, "Hell yeah!" She's like, "I do too." And it's such a powerful song, bro. The music video is amazing, and I don't know one person that can't listen and watch that video and connect with that song, dude. That was a beautiful song, and I wish you would do more style like that, dude. Because
maybe there's some in the chamber. You don't know what I got,
dude. I would be pumped for that, man. I know a lot of your listeners. You have a loyal following, by the way. Your people are so loyal, dude, and that's incredible.
I have this conversation with so many people. My numbers online aren't crazy,
right?
But my views, I'm not super active. I don't post 3-4 times a day. I'm random about my posts because I do everything myself.
Pull up one of your shows though.
And but yeah, the people that come out, my people come out.
Dude,
like I have real life numbers.
Yeah,
that's the thing, and that's no diss to any artist. Numbers online are very important.
Yeah,
I just have never focused on that because I love how real my fan base is.
Yeah, so Rich, I've got the next interview coming up here. Stick around. Wait, keep going. Okay, I got my boy over on the shop. We're good. We can keep chatting with. Then I'm good. We can keep chatting with Rich Regal here, so I'm cool with that. So, but yeah, I have seen, and I talked to Beer Chugging Bob multiple times, and I'm out chugging when we get to the Farm to Bottle. But I'm just saying that will happen. But he's even said the shows are electrifying, dude. You're talking to Rich Regal. This dude's been in shows with Jelly Roll, right? You've played shows with Jelly. You've played shows with Struggle. You've played shows with Demon. You just played a show with oh my gosh, in Columbus.
Paul Wall.
Freaking Paul Wall. Who don't know who Paul Wall is? Dude, I went for a whole week straight listening to nothing but Paul Wall because I forgot all about him.
Bro.
Like,
Paul's the GOAT for real.
dude, he really was. And what was funny, I told my brother about it. We were going to try to make it out there. And he texted me one day and he's like, dude, I can't stop listening to some old school Paul Wall now. And I'm like, dude, I remember bumping it in your old 80s Ranger and like with two half-ass 12-inch subwoofers just pounding it, dude. And it was that. And I heard that show was great, dude.
Yeah, it was a really good show. There was just like a lot of shows. There were some complications that, it didn't ruin the show, but it definitely complicated some things. And but
what was he like though? What was it like playing with him as a person?
I only got to conversate with him for a brief second, and actually Carl was there and he can vouch for this. This is crazy. So he comes off stage. My set got cut short. There was a timeline that they had to be on. They got a little bit behind. So I understand. I get it. Not a big deal. But we didn't even get to get our climax, but whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, it wasn't anybody's fault.
It's complications you get, you know?
So what's that?
It's the complications that go with the show, man. It happens, and you got to go with it.
It does, and I could bitch and complain, but it ain't nobody's fault. Nobody can fix it. It's okay. So we're standing out back, and here comes Paul off the stage, right? And his security's ushering him through immediately. They're getting him out of there. Like something must have been going on. There was a disruption up in the front. I think maybe they thought there was a safety issue. They're rushing him out the back door. He stops and he goes, hold the fuck on to his security. And he was like, hey, bro, your set was fucking fire. Let me get a picture with you, dog.
Really?
Like, Paul Wall just asked me for a picture. Like,
it doesn't surprise me. It doesn't surprise me, man.
I was like, bro, I don't even care about nothing. Y'all can't tell me nothing.
So let me ask you this, and I wasn't prepared for this segment, obviously, with you, but I want to touch a little bit more on that. I know a guy that went to the show, and he said your set was the best of the night. Like he said what you put on the stage was amazing, and he had never heard of you before. Now he texts me, and his favorite song's "My Turn" with you and your boy.
And Kelsey,
Kelsey, thank you. And I went back and listened to that, and that was the first time that he had ever heard of you. And he's been bumping. He's like, do you listen to this? I was like, I'm a white trash motherfucker. Yeah, I listened to it, my man. Like, once you listen to this, you never go back. I was like, and I couldn't help but brag a little. I was like, dude, I had Rich on my podcast a couple months ago. Him and we have conversations. I said, this is the most down to earth guy you're gonna ever meet. He never feels better than somebody. He's always willing to help. Like, and I know when you said you were so starstruck by Paul Wall when he wanted to get that picture with you, bro, but it's not hard to really believe that because he heard your set. He heard what you threw down and all those years of hard work, man, and it's paying off, right? I mean,
yeah, I mean, I'm very confident in my performance. I definitely am. I'm very self-conscious about my music in general, like looking for love.
I don't know.
When I first did that, I was like, oh man, dude, I don't know if I can put this out. I don't know if I can let people hear this. And now, like, wait till this weekend at Riverfront Live Friday night and at Farm to Bottle Festival at the Clinton County Fairgrounds. Drop, little shameless drop there.
Yeah.
That song now, it's just.
You're gonna be like, who's the big fella in the middle causing the scene on this song? It's Big Sturg. It's Big Sturg. He just took his shirt off now, and he's dancing around like God. But let's talk about you. Since are we still good, boys? Okay. So Rich, are you still good to talk?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. So let's talk about Farm to Bottle. So you were there for the first one last year. Yeah. Now, Carl, please correct me if I'm wrong. You were on the inside stage last year, obviously. Now you're going to be on the outside main stage. Is that correct, Carl?
Correct.
Now, which stage is that going to be? Is that going to be over at the grandstands?
You can find it when you find the naked fat guy.
I'm not getting naked.
Well, I will.
Then I will. If you are, I am, brother. So how What are you expecting this year? I know you probably weren't sure what to expect with the Farm to Bottle last year, but we had a good time. You had people, your people showed up for you too. I'm sure you grew some fans too, because there's people there that I know for a fact that had never heard of you, that I know for a fact listen to you today. So what are you kind of expecting this year as far as that goes?
It is still kind of, because watching this year how much it's grown, it definitely has grown. There's no way, there's definitely going to be a lot more people there, a lot more options for things for people to do. There's a lot of events going on, and it seems like, the first time you do something, you got to work out the bugs. This time I feel like a lot of the bugs have been worked out. It's affordable for everyone.
Yeah.
It's a really great talent. From what I've seen, there's going to be some really cool vendors.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel like it's going to be much, much bigger than last year, but still it's like, how big? It might be real big, like
question that everybody is wanting to know right now, because you're right. You hit it right on the right on the head. It's obviously grown, but as much as I know, there's been times where I've thrown a showcase on a podcast and having a big interview thinking we're going to get record numbers, and you don't, you know what I mean? So, because you don't know until that moment, but I have just this feeling of the possibility of just really killing it over here at the Farm to Bottle. I think you're going to have a big outcome. And you're right. Last year, there were some bugs. There were some, prices of admission. But this year, that's not a problem. It's a really affordable show to come to. You can come to both nights for the same price you got in last year. So,
yeah.
And that's going to be huge. So do you know, do you have a big fan base there in Wilmington? Do you know?
I don't know. Well, my fans, and I hate to call them fans because they're most of my fans are like family at this point, but they literally come from all over. It literally, a lot of times it just depends on what other events are going on, because a lot of my base is also very big, redneck rave,
right.
and stuff, because we cross over a lot, because them's the homies.
Yeah.
So if they've got an event and it's closer to them, they may go to that event. So it all just depends when it comes down to it. If somebody else ain't got an event that's closer to them, they're coming here.
Yeah.
And we all think like that. Like, if I've got two friends throwing an event, I'm going to probably go to the closer one.
Yep.
And support that one first, because it's an easier travel.
Convenient, convenience is the thing, and especially in today's age.
But I've built a good bit in Chillicothe, Logan, Lancaster.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll have a nice little group out there for us.
Well, I'm pulling for you, brother, because I consider you a friend of mine. But I need you to know I'm also a fan, brother. I am a fan. And I'm a fan of American whiskey. I appreciate that.
There you go. You can soundbite that and use that.
Dude, I appreciate that. But I have to tell you, man, my kids and my wife, bless their hearts, dude, that my studio's in my basement. I've got 4 kids, 10 and under. My youngest one's 5. Like, we got a lot going on here, and bless her heart, she's loving me and letting me do my thing. She takes the kids, gets out of here for these interviews tonight. And my son says, "Who you interviewing?" I said, "Rich Regal." And he's like, "Oh, can I do it too? Can I do it too? Rich Regal, Dad?" I'm like, I said, "I promise you, I'll let you do an interview with Rich Regal." I said, "I will set it up to where you can ask Rich Regal all the questions you want." So, I mean, and to see him loving that too, man, we're raising them up. We're raising them up, man. We're raising them up. And it's an honor, man, because I'll tell you right now, his favorite song of yours is your remix on Hot in Here. He loves it, dude. It's getting hot in here,
that's
baby.
A crowd banger. Like,
dude, he loves it.
You can't help when you hear that song but to sing along with it.
Right? And you can't help be like, did Rich Regal just pull that off? He just pulled off Is It Hot in Here?
Shout out to Chance the Rapper. He's the one that put that medley together.
Well, I love it, man, and it's so cool to just be able to enjoy music with my boy, man. I'll be honest, it's really cool to enjoy different types of music with him, and you're one of his absolute favorites, man. So it's cool for me, man. Is he coming to the Farm to Bottle? Absolutely, you'll see him over there. You'll absolutely see him over there.
Make sure
But-
you get him with me.
It's gonna happen,
we'll get
man.
something going here.
Well, I'm super excited. And just for
What
any,
was it? Well, it was the drumstick last time, wasn't it?
yeah, you guys, that's what he wanted. And he asked you, he said, is there any way I can get a drumstick? And the drummer kept walking back and forth, and you stopped him. You're like, give me the damn drumstick. And you signed it. The drummer signed it, and then Moneyface signed it. So it's literally hanging up above all of his baseball and football cards that are beloved for him. It's right there. People come over and he shows off his room. Dylan will tell you he's over on the other side of the studio. He shows that drumstick off. So, okay, he's ready now. Okay. So, Regal, we got, dude, I wish I could, you and I could sit here and do this all fucking night. We could. So, let's get together, tattoo on me, smoke a couple J's, have a good time. But we got Rich from THC hopping on here. Dude, it's an absolute honor to have you on tonight, brother.
I appreciate you guys. It's an honor to be here.
And I'll probably drink the rest of this Regal Strawberry Glow if you don't mind.
Hell yeah.
So I guess I'll see you on Friday.
All right. Well, are you coming to Riverfront? Are you going to Far in the Bottle?
No, Far in the Bottle.
I'll be at Far in the Bottle Saturday. We'll be at
we're setting up Wednesday, so we'll be there at Far in the Bottle. So I'll see you on Saturday, man. I really, really appreciate your time, bro. We could do this all night long. So
hell yeah, I appreciate you guys.
Like trash. All right, guys. So you just heard it there. We just had Rich Regal on. It's an honor to get Rich Regal on and be able to spend some time. Cool news is we've got Rich from THC hopping on right now. I think, is he in? He's in, right? Okay. All right, man. I'm Big Sturg with American Whiskey, dude. It's pretty giddy having you on here. So welcome in here, brother. I'm glad to have you.
Happy to be here, man.
So, I know we don't have a long time. I know you're a very, very busy man. But I know that you have a new album coming up. And is that October 4th?
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's a 10-song album. And by the way, I love Bones Jones on that. That's a banger. So I'd like to talk about that album and kind of where it came from and how it kind of compares and differs from your other albums.
There is a few songs that made, we're always been hard to genre identify. That's why we were dubbed Red Dirt Metal. Red Dirt Country is a big thing. Storytelling country, cross Canadian ragweed really put it on the map. Which I hear they're reuniting. I hope they are. But our music kind of combines the metal and heaviness of like a Pantera, Southern rock styles of CC Top and Leonard Skinner, along with the party atmosphere music of like Van Halen and Motley Crue, and then we've just thrown in all these different genre aspects. I mean, when you see a cover to our album, you probably wouldn't know where to put us in your store. I've gone into some record album places, and, of course we're in rock or we're in metal, but sometimes I'll find us stashed over in country, real close to Travis Tritt, and they're just like, there's a cowboy hat, he probably goes over here.
Hey, you're next to Travis Tritt. That's an honor.
You're damn straight. It's just the kind of music that we make, we just kind of try to do our best just to make good music. And, you're going to know my gender for damn sure, but you might not know my genre.
That's a really good point there. My wife, I was showing her some of my favorite songs that you guys have, and it comes off of a couple different albums. But she even said, she's like, what kind of music is that? I said, it's THC, baby.
Yeah.
That's the genre.
Yeah, and I think that with this album, we did really good. We have a song that came out earlier this year, about a month or so ago, Gunsmoke. It's very country influenced, but still has some metal. And then we got Bones Jones, which is a real banger, super heavy. And I know that, there's a lot of guys out there playing in drop B and stuff like that just wish they had a song this heavy right now. It's just we're trying to see on that, I believe. So, yeah, man, we're doing our dangest to you know, we're the hunter gatherers. You know, we're bringing in some big old beasts. We're trying to bring down here.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So my favorite song, I have to do this just because this is literally on a repeat for me in my truck on the way to work. I believe it's called Knee Deep. Knee Deep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can you kind of talk about, like, I'm just curious how you guys came about that song. Was that off of personal? Was that personal for you?
Yeah. I mean, I try to make sure that some life spills over into my music. Try not to make sure that like too much does, but I was raised outlaw. My papa was a moonshiner. My daddy was a drug dealer. And I was going down that road myself. Luckily I trickled over into music, and it's a faster drip than a moonshine drip, but it is a whole lot more smoke than the marijuana business that my dad was in. So yeah, man, just trying to stay outlaw, be as outlaw as I really can, and still come across as still a good old boy. And me deep, I'm actually, a woman that I love to death, I love her dearly, but when I first bumped into her, she wouldn't mind. She belonged to another, and she come after me, and I just told her straight up, hey, when you're done with that over there, and you put down that ring, and you show up on my door ready to move in, we can talk about it. But I'm not messing with another man's woman. It didn't take a long time; it took a short time, and my brother came to me. He said, "Brother, there's a woman at the door." And I said, "All right, let me go. Let me get up. I'll go get it." He goes, "Well, I need to tell you something. She got about 7 luggages out there."
He's ready to move in, baby.
So I guess he decided to take what I said to heart. There she was, and there she still is.
Oh wow! So you guys to this day you're together?
Sure enough.
And how long has that been?
I think 15, 16 years, somewhere there.
All right, man. So now does she travel along with you?
She used to all the time. Like, I mean, just rode right beside me, like riding shotgun. Back in the day, I used to wear a lot more hats, man. I used to drive. I used to tour manage. I used to, just every single thing there was that you could do in the business. But things have gotten a lot easier over the years. The band getting a good hold on how to do it, and which way to go, and all that stuff. So now I don't have to wear as many hats. I got great people around me, great band members, management. Everybody seems to be really taking care of stuff for me. So I get to ride a little bit better, a little bit more luxury, but which allows her to stay at home a little bit more because the road's getting hard on us. We're not as young as we used to be.
I want to kind of bounce off of a few things you said there. You said you used to wear a lot of different hats, and it seems, it's not a lot of people are able to do that and be successful at it. But now you're focusing on, I'm assuming, writing music, recording music, traveling, and doing your shows and your tours. Is the reason that you left doing, all those hats and you laid those down? Is it because the love of the music that you have? Is it the love of the fans? Is it, what made you pursue just to drop everything else and just pursue that?
Man, I didn't really pursue it. It just fell into my lap, the tour managing stuff, having a great guitar that's invested in the band, Nevada Romo. He's as invested in the band as I am. And that goes just beyond, picking up your guitar and taking the stage. All of my guys here, Ford Bull, the other guitar player, he's our mechanic, our maintenance man. He takes care of oiling up the rigs, helps us get us down the highway. Rado Romo is not only my driver, he also hosts my On the Road with THC show. He does a lot of our social media. Then my drummer, he isn't just the drummer, he drives as well. And he actually handles all of our social medias and go-betweens between venues and the label, actually, within the label. So I've got everybody doing a little bit here and a little bit there, what they can and when they can. And it allows me to really just kind of sit back and, drink a little more beer, smoke a little more weed, and enjoy life a little more. I still book about 70% of the shows, and the other shows are helped out by a young fellow named Imran, who is great for us. And if we can't fill 4 or 5 dates a week, then we just call him up and he'll help us fraggle in a little one night show or whatever, you know. But yeah, it's just great to be surrounded by a bunch of guys that are all in and ready to go instead of just guys showing up to get a paycheck, you know.
And you know what? Rich Regal and I just kind of talked about this. You know, there's a difference between, people look at success. Sorry about that. Success. You know what I'm thinking about, but
absolutely.
No, it's yeah. So it's the success doesn't just come by your pocketbook, right? It comes by, are you enjoying it? Are you smiling at the end of the day? Are you feeling good when you put your head down and go to sleep? And I think you're kind of hitting that right there. You know, success just isn't built off of material things. It's built off loyalty. It's built off the inside of your heart and the way that you're building. Are you doing it genuinely?
Absolutely. And when you get yourself surrounded by, you know, 4 good men with good moral compasses, with good common decency, and everybody having that same you being the same spear point, you're all guided towards the same goal. It makes the goals get achieved quicker and more pleasantly. You know, I am the guy that writes the checks, but I consider them my business partners, not necessarily employees.
Family.
And, you know, without them, the business isn't good. And if anybody out there that is in the music business and they don't know anything about business or how to handle business, well, they better get out of the music business, because they're not going to be successful. You can be one of the greatest musicians in the world, and if you can't get a little bit of business in there, you're definitely not going to make it, man. It's called the music business for a reason.
And you said you just keep hitting all these great facts, and I'm not even, you know, I don't have this written down to talk to you about, but I want, you mentioned it and I want to keep going. You know, you talked about, you want to be successful at something, you surround yourself with the people that want the same kind of thing. So like whether you're trying to, you know, better yourself. Right now I'm on a weight loss journey. I'm trying to lose weight. So what am I doing?
Best of luck to your brother.
Hey man, I appreciate that. I'm down 60 pounds right now. So I feel good. And, but you know, I'm not surrounding myself with people that are going to McDonald's every day. I'm surrounding myself with people that are trying to grow healthy and try to do the thing. But with that being said, you're not going to surround yourself as a music artist with people that are just chasing money when you're trying to chase genuine, you know, human relationship. You're trying to grow not only your brand, but those relationships. And you can't have a good, you can't do that well if you're not surrounding the people that have the same values that you have. And I think that's a really good point that you brought up.
You can see it in a lot of bands when, you know, when they break up, it's musical differences. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, that's bull crap. Hey, man, it actually could be. It could be that somebody wanted to get heavier, somebody wanted to get louder, somebody wanted to go more mainstream, or someone, you know, it's just that, you know, you got to get with those people that have the same thing. And it's just like having a woman in your life, you know. Mm-hmm. If you're dreaming of having a little old trailer in the woods somewhere and she's dreaming of having a big old house in the city, y'all aren't going to the same place. You know,
that's right.
You're mentally not fixed on traveling and arriving at the same destination. So everybody needs to have the same destination.
I think you kind of just gave me chills a little bit. And the reason is, you know, I'm going through this weight loss journey and I'm going to connect it again. But, you know, I tried to do, you can only do something. And I also do a little bit of music. So I get it. But relationship wise, you cannot do anything for anyone else. You can only do those things for yourself. And if you can find that right person, you know, those other people that are trying to, you know, do the same thing. Before I tried to lose weight for my wife, it didn't work out. But when I realized that I want just as much as she wants, and I want to be the man that loves her. I want her to be the one to love me. And so I stick around for that journey. It's the same thing in all aspects of life. You see, you just heard Rich Regal on our show kind of talking about the same thing. I love that you kind of brought that back up, just surrounding yourself with that, just that positive presence. And dude, you're hitting it right on the nail. I love it. I think it's you can take a lot out of this conversation with you. You seem like you've probably been around a few different scenes in your day, and you've learned a lot. And a lot of people don't learn from things, but you can tell that you have. And I really appreciate you being willing to open up a little bit. I'm a bit surprised that this interview kind of went that way, but man, I really appreciate that.
Well, don't be, man. I'm a big man. I got a big heart and I got big love, and that's what I tell my woman all the time. My big heart wants to be loved big time. And if you can't give me big love, if you can't love me with your whole heart, and I don't want any little small pieces of it. I want all of it. I want some big love. I'm a big man. And I will tell you, my journey, I weighed 460 pounds, and I'm now down to 340.
Congratulations, dude.
So I've lost 120 pounds. That's the size of a regular person, nearly, so, now the struggle has seemed to begin. You know what I mean? I lost that 120, and now it seems to be harder to lose. But hey, man, I'm not going to give up. And my problem is that I still like to eat ice cream, and you can work out for 2 weeks solid. Diet for 2 weeks solid and have one scoop of ice cream and just have one.
It hits us like a fucking freight train. We'll just say it.
Your life,
it's funny. I don't know why we're talking about weight loss now, and I love it because I'm kind of in that. But I started doing low carb diet, and it's working. And I'm just shredding the pounds, and I don't see it, but the people around, like I said, again, let's hit that. I'm surrounding myself with good people that are wanting me to be healthy. They're wanting me to be successful. We just talked about surrounding yourself, and people are like, man, did you lose some weight? And I'm like, yeah, I have. I couldn't tell. And my brother the other day said, pick up a 45-pound weight and tell me that you don't know that's heavy. You know what I mean? So, and it is, but man, that's cool that you've lost, that weight too. And it's the journey, brother. It really is. So, and I really appreciate you being vulnerable and open like that.
Hey man, if we're gonna do an interview, whatever we want to talk about, I'm down. I wouldn't want my fans to just come on here and just see something coming from us that was the same thing that came from somebody else. I'm sure you haven't had too many people on here that hog hunts. I don't know if you had too many people on here that caught catfish with their bare hands before,
Well, don't tell my son that when you meet him at Farm to Bottle, because our biggest thing, we like bluegill fishing, catfishing, squirrel hunting, and he if you tell him that one, you've hunted hog, and two, that you've went noodling, he's gonna freak out because he wants to do both of those things.
I mean, some people want to climb mountains and jump off cliffs. I just want to go fishing and hunting.
My son's the only 7-year-old that I know that he prefers his bluegill with the skin on.
Man, that's I kind of do too. My dad got me into that. So
he calls the bluegill tails potato chips.
Man, they are freaking delicious, man. And down where I'm from, we catch crappie by the bucket full.
Yeah, I love a good mess.
They're practically my brothers. They, their mom took me in to raise me when I was young, and Michael and David Beeson, they own the Four Seasons Fishing Guide service on Lake Texoma. And when we was growing up, all we did was, we would run the creeks crawdad fishing, and we would always go. And I mean, like a bass, there's a bass pond. This guy said nobody can ever catch any bass down here. Full of bass, humongous bass. Ain't nobody catch any down there. And I told him I would come back there. I said, I'll come back here and I will catch a fish like that. And what we did was caught some live crawfish. Well, crawfish will eat bass eggs. So we found the beds. He's like, those fish they won't bite. They're on their eggs. I said, you watch me catch this sucker right now. Just put a backwards hook on that crawfish and drop it straight down into that bed. Man, that bass will eat that.
Mama's hungry.
And I also used to pond feed. We would take about 600 shad and feed it to a dying pond, and the owner would be like, I don't even know if there's any fish in here. When we pour those fish in, we would take about 3 or 4 and put them on the end of a hook, stand there pose. I didn't even give the owners a post. I hear hold this pole, and we pour all them fish in there. You got 400, 500, 600. Well, we float in about 100 at a time, actually. And when those whole 100 run into that out of the creek or something that fed right into the pond, all them bass just come up and start slapping it. Looked like boiling water on the top of the water, but you got a hook on one of them. Hey man, he ain't going too far. He ain't got a fighting chance like them other ones do. And then next thing you know, you got a bass on. These owners are like thinking, "Oh my God, I do have fish in my pond." You know, so
Well, damn it, Rich. Now you got me thinking about fishing. I had an old guy one time when I was in high school. I coon hunted out on his farm and coyote hunted, try to help him out there. And I was out there one day. He was showing me the land. He took a big old bag of gravy trained dog food and he goes out to this a couple acre pond that he had. He hadn't fished it in years. And I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "Well, I'm going to dump this in. And then in a couple weeks from now, I'm going to come back and put a little bit of that." He said he would put it into a dough ball, that gravy train, put it on his hook, throw it out there. And he said, "I'll catch all these catfish out there and I'll eat them." I said, "There ain't no way in hell." So I went out there, dude. He put a whole 60-pound bag of gravy train down in there. And then a couple weeks later, he goes back and he catches an insane amount of fish. I'm like, this old man knows what he's doing. You know what I mean?
My buddy used to have a catfish pond. It was so full of catfish, it was ridiculous that if he didn't feed them, he would have trouble.
Right.
And we would go down there and dump dog food down in there. And I always wanted to grab one and pull it out. You could reach in and pet them. You could pet them while they ate. They wouldn't freak out. And his grandfather had the pond there since, way before us. And his grandfather always said, "Hey, listen, always come down here and fish them, but never pull them out while they're eating like this, or they're not going to be as friendly." And we could sit there and pet them and everything, man. It was incredible. But I know we're supposed to be here pushing the band, Texas Hippie Coalition. Going to farm to bottle coming up there. And is that in Wilmington, Ohio?
It is in Wilmington, Ohio. It's September 19th through the 22nd. Sorry, we went on a fishing trail there, but
heck, man, that's what I would. That's what I'll be talking about all the time anyway.
Well, you don't want Dylan will tell you. He's our co-host. He manages the show. He's looking at me like, "What are we doing? Why are you talking about fishing?" But you can't get me talking about fishing.
That's what producers are for,
No, but yeah, September 19th through
online here. But yeah, farm to bottle coming up there in Wilmington.
Yep.
That's this Saturday, I believe.
It is
Saturday. I can't wait to get there and have some fun. Sounds like a blast. Anything that's got bottle in it,
Oh yeah, bro. I mean,
be out on the farm somewhere. It's going to be great. And,
one more question for you. I know you're busy, but
no problem. I just want to make sure that everybody here also knows that Bones Jones dropped, and you can go purchase it, stream it, anything you want to do.
It's good too, guys. If you haven't listened to it yet, you need to listen to it.
Yeah, I just it's a good heavy song. It dang sure is, and I do know that we should be pushing a lot of other things. THCofficial.com, of course. Go check that out. Get you a T-shirt. Got to do that. Have to do that. And then, I'm sure there's something else. I got some hot sauce coming out. Hellhounds, Triple Threat, 3 different kinds of hot sauce. I think it's called Scovia or something like that. One of them is going to be over 100,000. It's going to be pretty hot. So we got some good stuff going on. But
Dylan's looking at me smiling because I'm
talking about fishing. What were we saying?
No, I appreciate you putting us on track, brother. Because I'm curious. With my last question is, are you going to be doing any of those new songs at Farm to Bottle?
Absolutely. We'll be performing Gunsmoke, the title track of the new album that lands October 4th. And we'll also be doing Bones Jones, which Bones Jones entered on a lot of the streaming charts, like on Apple, number 10, and on Deemer, it was number 3 or something like that. Awesome. So it's coming in hot, and we're happy to hear it and see it. So I hope everybody that has a chance to hear this, they'll go hunt it down, look it down, give it a listen, and hopefully they'll like it. If they do, they can give it a thumbs up or a heart or whatever it is that you do these days.
Well, I mean, there's all kinds of things we can do now, right? It's crazy. But I got to say, man, other than the fact that obviously American whiskey needs to go hog hunting with you, I appreciate you coming on here and answering some questions and just being super real, man. What an incredible back-to-back interviews. Both of you guys' names, Rich, and both of you are down-to-earth guys. And
I think you misspelled mine on there a while ago, because mine is RITCH. It's Big Dad Rich. It's RITCH. It
probably got auto-corrected. So we'll
RITCH, it rhymes with your mother-in-law.
She's always watching the show. Damn it.
Yeah, tell her I said hi, Mom.
Yeah. She's one. I guarantee she's one of my most valued listeners too. So she knows how I feel anyway. So she's probably like, he probably does think that. You know, everybody thinks that of their mother-in-law. It's just,
I'm just telling you right now. Anybody's got a mother-in-law that loves them, one lucky man.
I think she does. I mean, she says she does. That doesn't mean she does.
I bet she does.
well, I guess. Well, I'm going to ask her. I'm like, do you actually love me? I'm going to ask her that tonight.
Do it. Put her on the spot. Put her on the interview.
Hey, you know something? I'm going to have to do it. I'm like, you know what? Rich said that you probably love me. Is it true?
Rich with
It's not. I'll tell you right now, Rich with a T. If it's not true, I'm not going hog hunting with you. Because that means you made me sad. So I don't know how busy you are tonight, buddy. So I appreciate you coming in here. I don't want to take up all your night. I know you're a busy guy. So
hey, everybody watching, go check out a track that we made a few albums back called Whiskey. You'll absolutely love it if you love this show. Everybody keep on pouring. Like I said, whether you sip it, pour it, guzzle it, just keep drinking. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
All right, man. Much love. We appreciate you.
God bless.
Peace out, brother. So you guys just heard it here. We had Rich with a T from THC in. Incredible interview with him. And I, to be honest, I'm gonna say it. I wasn't prepared for such a openness from the guy. You know, I know some of his music, but I don't know him as a person. So it's incredible to get that side of him. He was vulnerable. You know, you heard that. You heard Rich Regal on there getting vulnerable and talking. And that's what all this music stuff's about. You got Carl right over by Dylan there. He can tell you the same thing. The guys that, you know, that are worth following and worth listening to are guys like this. And Carl, I'd like to bring you in if we can get him on for a second. You know, you're working with these guys all the time. And is that something that you feel is, you know, pretty common, you know, that vulnerable side of them and that you just heard with both of those guys? And I'm just kind of curious on what you get out of that.
It's really not that common because I'm usually too busy doing other things throughout the shows, the live shows,
Right.
to actually hang out or talk to a lot of the artists.
Right.
But yeah, for the most part, most people are forthcoming. You know, occasionally you'll have things here and there, but
because you're really focused on the business side.
Right. And when it comes to the artists, I never really take any good or bad attitudes from them personal because you never know. With these guys, they're on tour buses. They're out for, you know.
Well, I think Rich with a T was on a tour bus at that moment. It looked like.
Yeah, they're on their way to us actually right now. They're playing a few shows.
And I was just curious about it because I would have never thought, you know, that we'd get such good interviews from those guys, and it came from because they are humans just like us. They love what they're doing, and they're able to open up and be real. I don't think Rich from THC ever heard of American and Whiskey, and he opened up. I say if you haven't followed them and listened to their music, go give it. I think Jason Kendall said earlier on here that he called it a type of music, and I don't remember what that was. Can we pull that comment back up? But I really liked what that said. It's just red dirt rock. They're their own. So when I was talking with my wife and it was like, what's the genre? I'm like, it's THC. It's just, you know, it's just good music. It's hard-nosed, gritty rock. So let's fucking roll. So like you said,
you haven't seen them live yet, right?
Not yet. No.
Oh, dude.
Stage presence is great.
I'm going to tell you now, between Regal, the Moonshine Bandits, and THC, those are three of the best live performance shows that I've ever seen.
I'm super stoked about it. It's going to be a good time. Is there anything else that you want to add to this? Is Seven Stones coming? I know that was.
No, I'm not sure what happened with them, so we just had to bypass them. I think
so. They're not coming on tonight. Okay, that's fine. Hey, you know what? Stuff happens. We see it all every day. Dylan does a lot of this back stuff, and he always, you know, that sometimes things just don't work out. So, but I will tell you right now, go check them out. Even though they're not on the night, they're worth the listen. They're worth checking out, and they're going to be at Farm to Bottle. So go check it out.
Yep.
Let's see. Dan Gray, who's the daddy of Farm to Bottle, just said, I was the biggest skeptic of putting them on the Farm to Bottle Festival, but I went and seen them, and now I listen to them 20 tracks deep nearly every day. The more I listen, the more I like them. And that's exactly what I even said. Knee deep, I listen to that song every day.
You know, it's funny. He was really skeptical when I first had mentioned them. And, you know, I get, you know, being out of your lane, if it's out of your comfort zone, you don't really know an artist or whatever, you know, it's a lot of money. So just take a chance on it.
Yeah.
He come down to the Blue Note to one of the shows we had down there, and they were 2 songs in. He's like, well, they take cash for a deposit.
Right. And I'm excited about it. I know, you know, it's actually, I was kind of confused. So is Rich Regal playing and then Texas Hippie, or is that going to be the same time frame?
No, he'll be before them on both nights.
Okay, on both nights.
Yep.
Like, guys, if you've not seen a Rich Regal show, his stage presence is insane. We've got Moonshine Bandits, same thing, just insane. And it sounds like THC is you know, it sounds like it's going to be a great one. Hey, I appreciate that, Gordon, on the interview. I tried to be prepared, but you know, it went to some directions I didn't think it'd go, and I guess that makes it a true one.
And it just happens. It's one of those things. You can prepare for an interview all you want, but it's going to spiral one way or the other, and you just have to go with it.
You know,
it was organic. You know,
yeah,
you just roll with the conversation.
And you guys know I love music. It's and I hope, you know, that they keep the love for the music. It sounds like THC Rich has been at that for a long, long time. So, and so is Rich Regal. But, you know, the love of music is such a powerful feel, you know, and it doesn't have to be you don't, just because you don't write and sing and perform on stage doesn't mean that your love of music isn't as real. I mean, that's why Carl does what he does, is the love of music.
Exactly.
And that's what it's all about. So, you come to the studio next Tuesday, you might hear Elton John. Then the next week you might hear Rich Regal. Then the next week you hear Toby Keith. And the next week, I mean, we have such a wide variety. And I think most people
Big
do.
Sturg.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? If you haven't listened to Cheap Whiskey, it is available on all platforms by Big Sturg. So yeah, I'll actually be playing. I wanted to share that. I think I can, right? That'll be playing. I can share that on here. Right, boys, or no? I shouldn't. Come on, Carl. No, I'll be playing. What was it? Friday and Saturday.
Yep.
I'll be showcasing just a couple songs. I don't know, Carl. Maybe you'll like it. Maybe you won't.
Yeah, I hear it.
Well, I'll play it before you leave tonight. How about that?
Okay.
As long as you sing with me, bro.
Yeah, I don't sing.
Oh, come on! You're promoting all these guys. You gotta have a verse or two.
Yeah, you're lucky I'm in front of the camera right now.
I know. He told me, he's like, I don't do cameras. I'm like, okay. And the whole time I was like, he's going on camera. No, so we're a little bit past 7 here. I said, unless Carl, you got anything else to add?
No, just make sure everybody grabs their tickets. If you can't make it to the Farm to Bottle night, we do have a show Friday night in Cincinnati with THC and Moonshine Bandits as well.
Go to both.
Yeah, go to both. That's what a lot of people are doing. We've got people coming in from all over the country for this.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're coming in for both or for one, you might as well go to both. So
Right.
I mean, we're talking what, a 45-minute drive from Wilmington to Cincinnati?
yeah,
Right.
it's not far.
I mean, you might as well. The only reason we won't is because we'll be at Farm to Bottle set up, or
Right.
we would.
Yeah, I'll be at both because I'll work caravanning over after. So
There you go, right there. Gary Rose going to both.
Well, I really appreciate everyone that's tagged in tonight. It's been a great time. I feel completely honored to sit down with Rich with a T from THC, Rich Regal as always. I hope to get Rich Regal back on here and Rich with a T. It was super organic, and I really appreciate you, Carl, for making this kind of happen for us. I know Dylan's been in contact with you, and it's just we've all been busy, and Jason, was able to get heat this back up to where we can to make this kind of happen. So I really appreciate what you were willing to do today, coming over, checking out the studio and making it happen, man.
yeah, no problem, man. Maybe we can get some other guests for you in the future. You never know what the future holds once we get past this festival, and you never know who we might bring in.
And don't forget, we're going to be at Farm to Bottle set up at the American Whiskey stage. We're going to be inside the building where all the tastings are at the Moonshine. Come and visit us. We'll be there. Dylan and I will be at that table the whole entire weekend. So come visit us. Come buy a shirt. Come hang out even if you don't buy a shirt. We just want to meet y'all.
Big Sturg, in addition this year is Dougie's camping with us, so he'll be there.
That's true. So
Am I camping with you or are you camping with me?
I'm sleeping in your bed.
Yeah.
Nah. So
see how quick this is going to turn on you.
Out of nowhere, we dropped the 0. No, so we're gonna sign off, guys, because it's that time. That's what time it is. So as always, I'm Big Sturg.
I'm Justice League.
Dougie Fresh.
And I'm Carl.
And we are America and Whiskey.